Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Have you ever felt like you weren't good enough? Maybe not a good enough mom, wife, husband, partner, daughter, son, not good enough to receive, happiness or love. I know I have. There was a time where I didn't feel like I was good enough because I didn't have a boyfriend. I didn't have somebody loving me. I didn't feel like I was lovable. And, that really went really deep into my life where, I was constantly, seeking somebody else's love to feel like I was enough. And it can really affect us on so many levels in our life if we don't, feel like enough. So it can prevent us from going after the job we want, going after our dreams because we don't feel that we're good enough to get there. And I know even as an entrepreneur, there's times where I'm like, well, I'm not good enough to do that. And then it's so funny though, because then once I move through that barrier and I go do something, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can do it after all. Right? Like if we don't try something, we won't know if we're good enough. Like I've even questioned my parenting this summer because it's like, oh my goodness, we're trying to move and things, right? So it's like, oh my goodness, like not that I'm saying I go too much where I'm like, I don't feel like good enough mom, but I'm like, okay, I'm not showing up the way I want to show up is more like it. But at the same time, those thoughts are there and they're underlaying all the, like those negative beliefs can be there and they can sneak up on you like when you least expect it. So if you are somewhere in your life, like where you're not like, I'm not good enough to go after that job. Who am I to, do this or that? And, give yourself some love and grace here because, one of the things I had to realize is it's, we don't become good at something overnight. And it took me a long time to really realize too, like there's no overnight successes. I went to school for empowerment coaching and I just thought like right out the bat, I'm going to be like awesome. And I'm going to be the, one of the awesome coaches. I've been doing it for 10, 15 years. It's like we all need to start somewhere. And even just listening to celebrities that have been doing it, like I remember going and watching Ellen DeGeneres live and realizing like she had some struggles. Like no one will look at her career now and be like, wow, like, she's living in a mattress in a basement. And we always see people at their years later. So it truly is something. So if we put ourselves to the point where it's like we have to be perfect or we think we have to be something before we can do it. Now, I'm not going to go too much into like perfectness and stuff because I've already talked about that in a couple episodes ago. But the thing is, we can think in our mind that we're not good enough to do something, but we have everything within us to be that good. We just need to change our perspective and change the way we see things. We don't have to be exactly like somebody else in our life. We don't have to do things exactly. And it really is about building up your self-esteem as well. And I've definitely had to go on that road a lot. I've really, it's definitely been a journey for me. My self-love journey is over a decade long. Like I've started over a decade ago. And I still have moments in my life where I don't feel like I'm good enough to go after something. Or like I said, with being an entrepreneur, there's definitely been some roadblocks, usually because my mind gets in the way. And it's going back to realizing like, when did you think you weren't good enough? When did somebody tell you that you weren't good enough? And for me, it is definitely something I've been working on for quite some time where it's like depending on which category it is in, right? And it's just I didn't have that self-love, so chasing after guys to kind of feel lovable that, once I really got in tune to who I was and started that self-love journey, it really has helped deepen the love for myself. And then I didn't have to validate or like I didn't need validation for my love anymore. Like I was lovable enough. So if you're finding that you're not good enough, or you don't feel like, it could be anything in your life that, career, love, whatever it may be that you're, feel like you're not good enough for, ask yourself why. Especially if it's a career, it could be that, maybe somebody told you that that's not how you can make money, or women can't do that, or like men can't do that. Like there's so many gender factors that we've been brought up with saying like, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this. So it's getting really clear on where you learn that, because it really is just a belief. And we can change our beliefs. We really can. And like I said, it's popped up with me, like I don't feel good enough certain times, and it's just a new belief about something else. So just because I've overcome, that belief of love, not having to go and like have somebody there. I'm very fortunate to have a husband, but to find a really strong connection like that, like I had to work on myself before that relationship really blossomed and came to manifest. But I've worked on that area. But then other areas of my life come up too. So it's just coming back to you and figuring out, like sitting down, the best way to have a relationship with yourself is to not overschedule. So making time for you. Or actually, yeah. So if you are an scheduler where you're kind of busy, where you're like, you don't really want to take time for you, you got to schedule it in. Or if you're a very busy person, schedule it in. Make a date with yourself. Now, this is important. Making a date does not mean you get to just like sit and numb yourself in front of the TV. There's nothing wrong with watching TV. But if you're making a date with yourself, this means like having a conversation with yourself, getting to know yourself better. Like I said, no, I love TV. I love watching it, a little bit before, like at the end of my day kind of thing. However, if you're watching TV on your date night with yourself without having a conversation, then it's like, well, how are you ever going to get to know yourself better? So you are enough. And if you need me to be that person to tell you you are enough in whatever way, like I'm here to say that you are enough. And society and people that love us, that didn't realize they were, possibly putting beliefs onto us, have maybe kept you small, or us, like I shouldn't just say you, like me too, right? So it's getting to know yourself better, and then understanding, well, why don't I feel good enough? Who told me this? Where did I pick this up? Feeling good enough can start to happen when you take time for you. And a great way to do this is think about everything you have accomplished in your life. What have you done so far? What have you overcome? What struggles and challenges have you gone through and got to the other side? I'm sure you've had some stuff in your life, that have maybe brought you down to your knees, knocked the wind out of your chest, made you fall over. And then you got back up, dusted yourself off, and kept moving forward. You have done so much already. And it's just taking that time to celebrate those accomplishments and realize that you have gone through a lot, you have come through a lot, and you can do what it is you want to do with your life. Taking that time to celebrate how far you have come, how far you want to go, and everything in between. Because you are enough. You're lovable. You can do anything you put your mind to. For me, I'm very fortunate to be stubborn. So a lot of the time, I might not have felt good enough in certain areas, but I was like, heck man, I'm going to do it anyway. And when you do that, you actually is like, oh, I can do that. So sometimes my stubbornness has really helped me in my life. So there could be some things that people might call you on or call, like maybe too talkative or whatever. Like I know like so many people think I'm just over talkative and loud and, and I'm like, I like that about me. I started a podcast. Actually, this is the second one. So you embrace the parts of you that maybe people pick on. And like, it doesn't matter what other people think about them. It's how you embrace them. Now, obviously, as long as it's not harming anybody, like I don't feel like I have to throw that in there, but it's about embracing who you are and, letting other people be who they are in like such a loving way, right? Like we're not here to harm or hurt people. We're here to love people, and it starts with ourselves. Because when we love ourselves, like so much unconditionally, like when we love all the ugliness around us and like in us, I should say, when we love all the parts about us, like everything, then it helps us love people in a different light too. We get to love people the way they are, and we don't have to change anything. So when we come from a place of love, it's really cool. So if you're not feeling like you're enough or that you're good enough to, go after the job or this and that, figure out really where it's coming from. And then I know for me, a part of it is like dress for success. Like that was a big one for me, like dress the way I want to live my life. And visualization has definitely helped me visualize my day the way I want to be. Maybe not the way I've been showing up, but the way I want to show up, the way I want to be in my life. And it really helps getting clear on how you want to show up. So if maybe you don't feel, maybe you're spending your days, and lately it's been really easy to just kind of lounge on the couch, maybe get a little couch potato up in there, sitting on the couch and, kind of letting the days pass by. And maybe that's not how you want to live your life. Think about how you want to live your life and then slowly make changes. So maybe it's like you spend a couple hours on the couch and then you do one or two things that bring you closer to living the life you want to have, or, going after that job, applying for those jobs, whatever it may be there. Maybe moving locations like I have been doing and things like that. So maybe it's, starting your own business. It could be, there's so many things out there of doing, but it's getting clear on who you are, what's been stopping you from doing it, why do you not feel good enough, and then figuring out who you want to be to get there and loving yourself every single step of the way. And that means, maybe scheduling a date night. Now you could do it could be a daily, like it could actually in a really good way, it would be, you could, like for me, I have a date night with myself, and I said like, date night, you don't, sit and watch TV, but I do have a date night where, like I will watch a chick flick all on my own, but it's allowing yourself to have like maybe every day you sit with yourself 5 to 10, an hour daily to check in with yourself. So you can have those fun date nights the way you want. But earlier when I said date night, I just was hit that pause button and really just connect with yourself. And if you're feeling all that time that you're there to connect with yourself and you're filling it with like TV or just different things that are kind of like numbing, not even numbing, distracting you from getting to your emotions or what's going to the bottom of everything, the root cause and stuff, then you gotta shift things a little bit. But you can do both. You can have like a fun date night where you could wear whatever you want. It could be comfy clothes, it could be fancy clothes, whatever it might be, whatever makes you feel good, and watch a chick flick or paint your nails or whatever it might be that you've been putting on hold for self-care or whatever. But it's also making time to really talk with yourself. So feeling good enough, it definitely can take some time depending on how deep those beliefs stem from. If it's like early childhood, it could take some love, extra love. Well, it always takes a little extra love, right? Just be loving with yourself to move through these, especially if it stems from way back in your childhood. And just know that, like, whatever it is that you don't feel worthy enough of or good enough of, that you are good enough. Just look at how far you've come. Celebrate it. Get up, do a little happy dance. Look how far I've come. Yeah, just do it. Just dance it up. Okay? You are enough. Just as you are, wherever you are right now. You don't need a new job. You don't need a new car. You don't need new clothes. You don't need to be anything but who you are right now. And then celebrate that. And then take those steps forward to create the life that you want. Like I said, maybe just get one outfit that just makes you feel really good and go after that job. But know that you don't need anything. You don't need to change anything, because already within you, you are enough. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.